Welcome to week 10 of Explore the Bible, continuing in the book of Ecclesiastes. Man, some great stuff today, and it's pretty cool how we can go back and look at the writings of a man who lived millennia ago, Solomon, and see that wisdom that he wrote then still applies today, and some of it is extremely appropriate for us today. I think we see maybe some social media wisdom for us today. What Solomon would say about Facebook and maybe the way Christians act on Facebook, right? So let's look at this. Ecclesiastes chapter 7. Wisdom is as good as inheritance and an advantage to those who see the sun, because wisdom is protection as silver is protection, but the advantage of knowledge is that wisdom preserves the life of its owner. Oh, wisdom is, he's saying, get wisdom more than you get money. Wisdom is more important. That's a great inheritance. And if you can pass along that wisdom to others, to future generations, you have given them something better than giving them money. They've gained this wisdom because this allows you, it protects you. But the advantage is it not just protects your what you have, it protects your life. And it's silver. Money can't always protect or save your life. Plenty of people have used that money and wasted it away and lost their life. Keep this wisdom. You need this wisdom, okay? And of course, Ecclesiastes, wisdom literature. Listen to wisdom. Consider the work of God, for who can straighten out what he has made crooked? In the day of prosperity, be joyful, but in the day of adversity, consider God has made the one as well as the other, so that no one can discover anything that will come after him. Okay, in the day of prosperity, be joyful. In the day of adversity, think about this, God made both. God made the good days and the bad days. God, those days are all created. This is the day the Lord has made. He's made that day, right? So whatever it is, whatever's going on, right, understand that God has made them all. So what does that mean? Consider this, that God has made the one as the other, so no one can discover anything that's going to come after him. You know, as good as this day might be, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I just don't know. And tomorrow might be a bad day, but as bad as this day has been, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. Tomorrow might be a great day. So you just can't predict. You don't know. So consider that God has made both of those days, and God made today. He made the good days and he made the bad days. So consider God's sovereignty over this. Okay, now, in my futile life, okay, Solomon's the richest man on the face of the earth. In my futile life, I've seen everything. Someone righteous perishes in spite of his righteousness, and someone wicked lives long in spite of his evil. Do you have that identification with Solomon? That there are really good people that die young, and there are people that are evil that just live, it seems, forever. Why are they still alive? And we can think about this today. I mean, you could name names today and go, why is that person still alive? And why did this person die so young? A good person, a person trying to help others, why did they die? And why did this person live? This evil person, crazy, maniacal, deceitful, why did they live? See that today? We know it's true, right? Okay, so we know this is true, that you're good, your righteousness does not mean you're going to live a long life, okay? Don't be excessively righteous, and don't be overly wise. Why should you destroy yourself? Don't be excessively righteous, and don't be excessively wicked, and don't be foolish. Why should you die before your time? It is good that you grasp the one and do not let the other slip from your hand, for the one who fears God will end up with both of them. What does this mean? Solomon says, don't get too righteous. I want you to be too good. Don't be real bad. Don't be too bad. You know. What's he mean? Okay. I think here what he's saying is, don't be the excessively righteous is the person that becomes the legalist. Okay. They see everything as an evil. If it's not what I think, then it's evil, it's wrong. You know, that they're legalist about everything, that everything's got to be exactly this way, and if it's not exactly that way, then there's something wrong, and we've got to fix it. It's got to be perfect. Look, don't get so caught up in trying to make everybody else live to some standard that you have decided they ought to live to, and that is the standard that you want to live to. Don't be a legalist. Don't be bashing people over the head because they haven't done the right thing. You know, Solomon says, I've seen, people that were righteous die early. You know, this reminds me, go back to Job, right? What did Job's friends tell him? Hey, the reason that, you know, all these things have happened to you is because you've got some sin in your life. Well, that's not the case, right? We know that's not the case. So don't be excessively righteous or overly wise, which is this sense of self-importance. You know, that I just know everything, and I'm the best person, and I'm the smartest person, and I'm the right person, and everybody needs to be like me. Do you know people like that? Who think that they're better than everybody else, that they live a more righteous life, a holier life. We call it the holier than thou, or the self-righteousness. Don't be that person. But also, he says, you know, you're going to destroy yourself. You're going to ruin your life this way. You sap all the joy, and this is what happens. People that are legalists take all the joy out of living. They're doing the right thing because they're scared if they don't, what's going to happen to them, and so now they're just trying to keep from making God mad at them. And what a terrible way to go through life, right? But at the same time, don't be excessively wicked and don't be a fool. You know, don't go off on this end, because you know what happens? You're going to die before your time, okay? Look, here's the deal. We walk with God and we try to live a righteous life because we think and we know that the odds are that if you do that, the odds are you're going to live longer than if you don't. If you try to do things the right way, you're going to live longer than if you don't, most likely. It doesn't guarantee it. But if you're not going out, you know, waving a gun around down your street and shooting at people randomly, if you're doing that, you're probably going to die early. You know, if you're driving drunk, you're probably going to die early. But if you're not doing those things, then you increase the odds you're going to live a long life, right? If you're overly, excessively wicked, you're going to die early, most likely. Not necessarily, but most likely, he said. It's good that you grasp the one and don't let the other slip from your hand, for the one who fears God will end up with both of them. That is, not saying, you know, hold on to a little bit of righteousness and a little bit of wickedness, but hold on to who God is, realizing that there are good things we need to do, and understanding there's evil and there are bad things we don't want to do. Hold on to those, but have a grasp of them. But all of that is with this idea that I fear God. I'm out of respect for God. I want to honor God, right? And if I honor God, if I fear God, if I want to be in awe of Him, if I want to respect Him and live my life that way, then I will know there are things that I need to do, and I know there are things I don't need to do, right? To do the good and don't do the bad. Do both of these things. Try to live this life in this balance. There is this balance here, this pull that says, hey, just go do whatever you want to. Or this pull that says, don't do anything, you know. No, live in this tension here. This is where we need to live, okay? Then, I just made this, I like this in big print because I think this is a great verse for your social media. Don't pay attention to everything people say. Just right there, I ought to just do that right there, right? Just don't listen to everything everybody says. You get in trouble on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on whatever it is. If you are paying attention to every comment that somebody, you say something and you're worried about how people are going to look at it, what they're going to say about it, and you're getting upset, just don't pay attention to it. You may hear your servant cursing you. You'll hear somebody curse you. For in your heart, you know that many times you yourself have cursed others. Don't pay attention to the mean things that people are going to say to you, because you know the truth is you've said some of those things to others too, and it wasn't right and it wasn't good, right? Maybe you didn't even mean it. Maybe you said it out of jealousy and not out of anger, or maybe you said it out of just bitterness in your heart. Maybe that's what it was. Well, maybe that's how they're speaking too. So don't take it all to heart and don't, oh no, they've said something terrible. Just don't pay attention to everything people say. Now pay attention to everything I say on the video. But all the stuff that people say, the comments they make and all of that, just don't pay attention to all of that. You need to be focused on God and what God has to say and what God thinks about you and what He says about you and what He calls you to do, and living in a life that honors Him in fear of Him, not in fear of what others are going to say or how they're going to treat you, or, you know, well, they're going to think I'm doing a bad thing if I do this, or they're going to, if the Lord leads you to do it, then do it. Don't worry about that. Just go on and live your life in honor of Him, not out of fear of people and what they're going to say and what they're going to do. I hope this has helped as you go through this passage and teach it. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel, like and share the video, comment on it, let us know how God's been working in your life. Thanks. We'll see you next time.